Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very happy to invite Shivaraman. He's got all India rank 12. And the first thing, Shivaraman, congratulations, of course.
Thank
How do
you.
you want? It's okay if I call you. How do people call you? Shiva or Shivaraman or Raghu? What do people
I
call you?
mean, my name Shivaraman. You can call me Shiv or Shiva if you want.
Okay, so let's call you. Let's call you by name, Shivaraman.
Yeah,
So start telling us. You got a score of what? 110 is what is got?
111.
111.
Yeah,
Do you expect this to happen?
no, not at all. So I was I till the end I got like about 95 was my mock scores. I 111 I never expected. I was maybe expecting 100 at max, but 111 was like I was not. It was came as a complete surprise.
So this rank 12 was also surprise to you. Or
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
what was your plan like? You're thinking that I'm only going to get into the top one or two college, or it's like top five, or
I
that.
was hoping for like the top three or four, so like the NLU or an NLS or Joe or Nalsar or NUJS. Those that was my plan because I also had got good marks in LSAT, so I was already had OP Jindal. So
Okay.
I was, yeah.
How much did you get in your LSAT India?
My 477 out of 480.
Okay.
Yes.
So that'll be about
Yeah,
98, 99 percentile, is it overall?
yeah,
None. Wonderful. So let's start with Johnny. So you were preparing for CLAT with us for 2 years. Is it for 2 years
yes.
course, right? So in this journey, you told that your mock scores. Tell me in terms your give me a sense in terms of what your whole preparation journey was, um, and let's start from there.
So at first, I mean, my first mock test I ever took in 11th standard, I got like 79 in it. That was, I mean, they got like for a very long, almost till the end, I got like 15 in GK. So even in the actual CLAT, I think that's all I got in GK. I've never been very good at GK. So occasionally here and there I saw improvements because like the questions that came, I knew the answer, but I've never been that good at GK. So mostly my improvement came in legal reasoning and maths because and the reading speed of all the reading sections. So
So you're telling me that so GK is what? Barring GK, we have how many questions? 115 questions, right? Yeah.
yeah,
In those from those 115 questions, you almost got close to about 100 correct. Is that what you're telling me? In the exam or
I think
95?
so. Yeah, I think so.
Oh, that's awesome. One more thing, Shiva, is that this is the third person you're telling me from top
Yeah,
to sort of 12 rank, telling me
yeah,
that the GK was not very good during the
yeah.
preparation stage. And I think that when you looked at the GK paper, you were okay with it. Is that what you never got psyched out by the with what you saw? Is that what happened in the test?
In the actual paper, in the actual CLAT, I was kind of worried by the GK because I mean, I did, it was very difficult for like it was the most difficult section. But yeah, either in the mocks tests, it did go up and down. Here and there, I did get higher scores.
Okay. So, which means that let me then try and understand what is your prep for the non-GK part first, because I believe that
Yeah,
eventually that is what got you here.
yeah.
So, let's to give me a sense in terms of how you prepared and what are the things that you did on individually sections. So, we could do that
Um,
discussion.
I did mostly the mock tests by CL every week. That I did that, and like especially at the beginning, I kind of attended all the classes so I could have the proper conceptual basis. And I did a lot of practice questions and sectional tests and all that. So uh, that was the main thing. And I guess I read the newspapers, which helped me in my speed. So the speed was a huge thing, which helped me in the end because
So when you say speed was a huge thing, help in your hand, how did it help you? What can you tell me the
the
specific?
main thing is that I almost regularly I had like half an hour left for maths. So I'm not very good at maths either. So I was just able to do like 10 questions.
So you had half an hour with math. So you used to spend half an hour to get the 10 marks. That's a plan.
Yeah, yeah.
Which then means, Shiva, is that I think you? So have you always been good in reading, or this is something that you developed in the last couple of years?
No, I've had a reading habit for kind of a long time. Not that long, but maybe since actual very regular reading since about 10th or ninth or so. But I did read
Okay.
books before that as well.
So so what is your routine with when it comes to reading, the reading stuff in your preparation time? What used to be a routine?
Um, I like the reading anything. I mean, uh,
In the sense, for example, for the CLAT, did you have any purposeful readings? Okay, weekly, these are the tasks that I have to achieve. I have to read,
no,
let's say,
not
news.
not but not really. I read the newspapers and I read books in general reading, but no, not specifically for the speed reading.
So you basically continued whatever
Yeah,
as a habit that you had,
yeah.
and okay. So did you, for example, individual section out of, let's say, English, logic, legal, is there any section that troubled you more, or what is the challenge that you had to?
Logical reasoning was definitely was the bigger challenge. I got less in logical reasoning as compared to the other two. So
Okay. So what are
yeah.
the things that did to sort of improve the logical reasoning? What helped you in logical reasoning? Which
One thing I helped using elimination. So basically, one thing I used to kind of eliminate every option as I read it, and and kind of like every time I see an option, kind of isolate it from the other options, so that I can try to determine whether every option is correct on its own merits. So that kind of helped,
so you
as
tell
well
me.
as
Sorry. Please continue. Please.
yeah, and highlighting the passages and kind of underlining all the conclusions in it.
Also, so one was you are reading the passage, identifying
Yeah,
what the main conclusion or the
yeah,
claim made by the author. Then,
yeah.
so how did you develop these elimination technique strategy? How did you get that eventual skill?
Mostly through just repetition, doing it in mock tests.
When is a repetition? You're going back to the question again and looking at the question again.
Yeah,
Is that what you think? Okay.
yeah, like just doing more and more mocks and kind of analyzing it.
Okay.
So
You said you prepare for LSAT India. LSAT India, 50% of the paper is critical reasoning only.
yeah,
So did that help, or
I
uh,
guess yeah, it probably helped. Yeah.
so did you actually prepare for this test separately, or you just took the
I
test?
did mock tests, but other than that, no. I did the official LSAT mock test, but uh, maybe five of those. So,
Okay.
but I didn't do any other than that. No special preparation.
Okay, anyway, the LSAT India is very standardized test. There is no surprise.
Yeah, yeah,
So, okay. So one is that logical reasoning. What you're telling me is that you kind of went back to the questions, you figured
yeah,
out, let's say, way to eliminate, you worked on it.
yeah.
What about so what are the things that you did for your legal prep?
For legal reasoning, one of the things that helped was I mean, just knowing the general concepts, because then you
Okay.
can basically often you can just completely skip through passages if say if it's about negligence and you know what the principles are, then you can basically just not read the passage. So that helped. Uh,
So
and
how did you build that skill of knowledge? What do you
that
do
mostly
to?
just through the classes and I did this mostly in 11th, just reading the
Okay.
laws. I mean, more. I kind of. I think I read some part here and there. I read the bare acts of even contract law, and the constitution. So just here and there.
So 11th, you are like building a little bit of base for your
Yeah,
12th. Okay.
yeah,
And another thing is, you talked about the fact that you had the challenges with respect to math, and
yeah,
there are a lot of
yeah.
students who come back and tell me math is a problem. So did you did you start addressing this problem from the beginning, or you ignored it for some time and then got
Not.
it back?
I mean, no, not really. I actually barely addressed it. I mean, I just had a lot of extra time at the end, so I was able to do it, even though I'm not very good at maths. So I was just able to do it through the sheer amount of time.
So your plan of action was, so did you do anything specifically for maths to improve? Oh,
Other than practice, no. I just like I did practice sets and stuff, but no. I kind of took some a bit of I used some approximation techniques and stuff to as ways to get to the answer quicker. But yeah, that's what I did.
So this is very interesting that the way in which you address the problem is
Yeah,
by ensuring that your strength are even more stronger, so you get
yeah.
little more time. Was this planned approach that I would want to give extra time to maths, or it just happened in your
It just
preparation?
happened. I didn't really plan this.
Okay.
One day I just like one random mock. I realized that I had like 30 minutes for maths, and I was able to do two sets instead of one.
Oh, and then
Yeah,
did you? What happened after that? You then you made it a point that you do that, or it
yeah,
just
yeah.
happened?
After that, I kind of made it a point that I have 20, 30 minutes at least left for maths.
So what will be advised to those people having the similar problem? How do I get eventually 30 minutes for maths? What things I should do in my preparation journey to ensure that this happens
Yeah.
if I'm making maths? What should I do?
Yeah, so maybe if you want to like improve your math speed, you can like practice more sets. But I found that absolutely horrible try doing the maths, so I kind of decided to work on everything else instead. So, uh, so you basically try to improve your reading speed is one thing. Uh, so so for that, yeah, I mean the only practice will help with that. And as for legal, you can it helps to just skip through the you can if you know the law, then you can just skip through the entire passage through entire passages, especially if it's on something standard, like negligence or say like a tort or a crime or contracts. So if you know the basics of these things, then you can just like skip the entire passage and then go directly to the questions,
Okay.
especially if it's yeah not that advanced of a passage.
So
And
so sorry, please. Huh.
yeah, and
So
for English, maybe the thing is, I kind of try to read as fast as possible while doing the whole highlighting the passage thing. That was what helped.
no, just by reading fast, it's not necessarily I will understand, right? Everybody
Yeah,
has a pace of comprehension. So,
yeah.
oh, so you did you figure out some way in which when you read the passage, I know what to look at. Is there any method to the passage reading that you use?
I think one thing is you should try to look for what the author is trying to make you like trying to give you in the passage. Like try to look for the author's opinions. Anything like should be any sort of like these sorts of normative statements. So those are the kind of things that will be questioned a lot. So you want to look for what the author's opinions.
So, are you saying that I can actually, wherever I actually create some method by which I can get my comprehension better by doing certain things? Is that what you're telling? Or I can.
Uh,
So, for example, the way in which I uh, I look for certain things when I'm reading it. I be good at under identifying certain important elements of the passage. I learn how to eliminate answer choices. Does this help in those two areas
Yeah,
of?
generally. I mean, I had a sense of it. There's no like any sort of formal method or anything. I just had a sense of uh, what to do, kind of.
And this came from where?
Just like practice, I guess. I mean, I can just through
I c-
practice and yeah,
I can venture a guess. Okay, let me ask you
yeah,
this. So after every mock test, how much time do you
yeah.
spend in terms of analyzing the test?
It depends. I did it more in 11th, but there it went to like maybe 2 3 hours. Towards the end, I mean, I was kind of slackened a bit, but yeah. Uh, in the beginning, at least, I kind of went maybe two. I spent 2 3 hours after a mock test over the week, kind of analyzing it.
Right. So one typical thing, the best place to learn these things is when
Yeah,
you go back and look at stuff that you did, and then you
yeah,
revisit them. It kind of helps, and then you start
yeah,
realizing these things. So what I'm hearing from you, Shiva, is one is that for legal, what you did was you build up certain basic knowledge about at least some of the areas that typically you find in the CLAT, right?
yeah.
And that helped you to handle the passage better. So for that, what you said is you used to read stuff. What are the sources that you looked at? One is classes, of course.
Uh,
Any specific?
I mean, I just kind of read the bare acts for most things, the contract law, the contract act, or the just like the main parts of it. Say the parts that they usually ask about. So just the definitions of things.
What was the source that you used for it?
The I mean, you can just I just read the bare acts for contract law,
Okay,
for example.
okay. So
Yeah,
let's say you did that. That kind of
yeah,
helped you. You're saying
yeah,
for reading, other thing, you already had a habit of reading, you just continued
yeah,
that, but you then
yeah,
figured out how to read better and
yeah,
also eliminating this. Okay, I understand. And maths,
yeah,
your solution is very simple. Give more time, and then I will
yeah,
manage it.
yeah.
And what about your GK prep?
GK prep, I mean, GK was in fact what I spent most of my time on. It was because I was weak in GK, so I kind of did the month ends and I spent time in looking for what I read the newspapers and I spent time researching after these major events that happened. So, and then I tried to try to cover events as comprehensively as I could.
Wonderful. Nice. So I somehow get a sense. So I think that you eventually figured out what works for you and
Yeah,
then made that happen. Wonderful. So you, which board were you in? Your
I was in
uh,
state board in PU,
so,
Karnataka State Board.
so is the exam got over early or what? How was the exam
Yeah,
schedule
yeah.
this?
I had an extra month at the end for
Okay.
studying for CLAT.
And that month,
Yeah.
what did you focus maximum on? The last sort of month.
Last moment, I mean, I did GK a lot, like revising the old notes of that I made for GK.
Okay.
Yeah,
So now what you're telling me is that throughout your mock test, you're like mostly you've seen 90 score. Few
yeah,
times you've seen more than 100. So
yeah.
when you're entering, let's say the CLAT test center, so what attitude did you have? What were you thinking at that point before you sort of entered the room and when you started taking the
As,
test?
as I entered it, I mean, I was just kind of looking for a whatever happens thing. So I was kind of I didn't really have that much of any expectation at all.
Okay.
So yeah.
Which
I
is the
mean, I just kind
most
of went into it thinking that this is just another mock test. That's what my father told me how to think of it. So
wonderful?
yeah,
So in this journey, who are some of the people who you want to give a shout out to in terms of helped you in the process?
my parents for sure, my friends, and my like all the faculty of CL who were for the doubt clearing in the classes. And yeah, obviously my parents and my friends who supported me through it, and my father who helped sat with me for the analysis and stuff.
Oh, so is he a lawyer? Or
No, no. I mean, but but he was like able to help me with the critical reasoning and all that.
okay, wonderful. So are you like the first lawyer in the family, or you got lawyers in your
Yeah, no, there's not really any lawyers in my
wonderful?
family.
And so before I sort of end the conversation, let me ask is why law? Why did you thought that this is the journey, the stuff you want to pick?
It was mostly like a sort of looking at everything else. Like I did not like I did not like maths for one, so engineering was out of the window,
Correct.
and yeah. So my second option would have been medical, but I didn't really like physics, chemistry, and all that. So eventually, I kind of gravitated towards law, which had a lot of the reading and the logic and all that sort of stuff that I liked, and like a kind of inclination towards commerce and humanities and all that. So that's why I chose law.
So moving forward, where are you looking at? What is your sense in terms of where is Shivaraman, let's say 5 years down the line? Or is you have any thought or your let's let me figure out along the way?
Yeah, I mean I don't really have that much in mind. I'm just sort of going with the flow in this. I don't
Yeah,
really have much of an idea on what to do after law or whatever.
which is actually
But
the best thing to do, right? There are a lot of
yeah,
opportunities. You should keep your eyes open. Uh, wonderful, Shivaraman. It was great talking to you, and all the very best.
thank you.
And congratulations to you, your parents, uh, and all the very best.
Yeah.